Welcome to CIS 578 Network Design and Administration. I know it's probably a little bit late, but I'm really trying to get the course set up exactly the way I want to get it set up, and so I want to go ahead and include this quick little introduction video. So basically, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about myself, and then we'll kind of step through the syllabus quickly. And then you should notice a change on the Blackboard shell. I'll also post a video going over the Blackboard shell, kind of demonstrating where various things are located. So if you're new to any of my classes, hopefully that'll help you kind of navigate around. If you've had my classes before, it should for the most part look pretty familiar. But each semester I try to improve things and change things up just a little bit. And so even if you've had me before, hopefully it'll help you kind of navigate the shell a little bit better. A little bit about myself first. I grew up in Oklahoma. That's where I was born. Or actually, I didn't grow up there. I was born in Oklahoma. I grew up in North Texas in Denton. And as a kid, I loved to play sports. I played football and I played soccer. I played football up until the point that I realized everybody else was getting a lot bigger than me. So I kind of specialized in soccer until I blew out my knee as a senior. And at that point, I kind of stopped playing sports. I was very interested in drafting. I really enjoyed that, and I think that has served me well in terms of thinking about networking and thinking about networking design and computing in general. It really kind of helps to create a way of thinking. I ended up marrying my best friend. We met in the 9th grade, and no, we didn't get married right out of high school or anything like that. We actually caught up just a few years ago on Facebook, and we were both at a point in our lives, and we decided to get married. And between us, we've got 4 kids and 2 beagles. More on them in just a second. As far as my education, I went to school at the University of North Texas. My parents had a small family-owned business just off the UNT campus, so it made it very convenient to go to school and to work. And so I did a lot of both. Went to school, graduated with a BBA in strategic management in '94. My minor was real estate, and I got a certificate in international business. So I took some additional coursework in things like international marketing and international finance and stuff like that. And I followed that up. I started to have a growing interest in technology, so I followed that up in 2001 with an MBA in business computer information systems, which was really about 18 hours of business courses and 18 hours of BCIS courses, so more technical stuff. In 2003, for 24 more hours, I could add a second master's. So in 2003, I graduated with an MS in information technology, and somewhere in that time that I realized that I wanted to pursue my doctorate. And so in 2009, I graduated with my doctorate in business computer information systems, and I minored in logistics. As far as my research interests, I'm interested in security. I really like networking and stuff like that, and security really kind of falls very closely in line with that. So security forensics, individuals and organizational security posture. I've got a paper that is just now coming out on individual security posture. Actually, I've got another one that I'm working on right now. Stages of security posture is something I'm interested in. Privacy as it relates to portable devices. If you think about our phones, MP3 players, all these, our laptops, our netbooks, tablets, we store a lot of information on those devices, or we store at least access to a lot of information through those devices. And the degree to which we consider security is probably somewhat lacking, and so that's kind of interests me in terms of an area of research. And then I'm also interested in the evolution or revolution of technology, how technology has evolved over long periods of time. My teaching interests are somewhat related to that: networking, telecommunications, e-commerce, emerging technologies. A lot of this is very in line with my research interests. They kind of go hand in hand, and I see the two working together. I mentioned more on my family there a second ago. This is really kind of the motley crew there. So I've got 2 kids. She's got 2 kids. My oldest is in college. Her oldest is in college. They're both at North Texas. Our youngest 2 are a freshman and sophomore in high school. And then I lied. Our youngest two are both the four-legged kind. Those are the two beagles in front. I've got Lou there in my hands. That's Lou is in Lou Costello, and she's got Buddy or Bud for Bud Abbott. So that's the gang. Okay, so this class, Networking Design and Administration WANs. It's an online class. All my contact information, I try to do Google Hangouts. Sometimes I miss those, and I apologize for that. Especially at the beginning of the semester, it's hard getting everything set up. But there's all that kind of information. The book that we're going to be using, Top-Down Network Design, something we've used in the past. It's hard to find a good book on WAN environments, but this one has probably been about the best we've been able to find thus far. This something I'm doing this semester is using the test-out environment for this class. I've used it in the past with other classes and different courses within test-out, but it's been great. It's a great value for you guys. It's normally $495. It's $89 through here. You have access to it for 18 months after you start it, so you have access to it long after this course is finished. But there's a lot of really good content in there, and that's actually how your homework is going to be done, is through there. So be sure and take a look at that if you haven't already. At this point, everybody should have. There's a couple little asterisks or footnotes there at the bottom. Pardon me. If you need to send me an email, send it to me through Blackboard. That's the official LMS of Tarleton, and I want everything that's course related to go through our course in Blackboard. If it's something that's not regarding the course and you have a question about another class you want to take, or job recommendations, things like that, by all means use my regular email address. That's perfectly fine. Also, as far as Google Hangouts and connecting to me outside of school, you can. I have a Google Plus account. By all means, I can add you to one of my circles, and it'll allow us to hang out if you have any questions or anything like that. At the same time, periodically I'll post things online that you might be interested in. I also like to include stuff from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, kind of give you an idea of the state of the industry, so to speak. And you can tell that IS is fairly good. The area as it relates to information security analysts, web developers, and computer network architects. On the topic of jobs and things like that, there at the bottom I've got career services contact information. If you're nearing graduation and you're looking for a job, or if you're just looking for a job, by all means take advantage of that. That's what they get paid to do over there, and I think they do a really nice job. They put on various job fairs. They can facilitate the creation of online resumes. Basically, they take you in and they will provide you with a script and help prepare you for a videotaped interview. They'll coach you through a few questions. Then they go back and edit the video to make sure that it looks nice and professional. And then they go ahead and record it, and you can provide links to that. And it's a way to kind of set you apart from some of your peers. They can also help you with your actual paper resume as well. So definitely take advantage of that. They also do mock interviews. So there's a lot of stuff that they do over there, and you're paying for that with your tuition dollars. So you might as well take advantage of it. Software, we're part of the Microsoft Academic Alliance. You have a lot of software at your fingertips if you want to take advantage of it. At this point in the semester, you should already have access to it. You'll see that there's a link there towards the top. That's to my personal website, and there's basically a lesson there that kind of walks you through the process of downloading the software and getting it installed and all that kind of stuff. So if you're confused by any of that process, take a look at that lesson. There's a lot of software out there. The best way to get used to it is to practice with it. So you got Microsoft Visio, Microsoft Project, you've got several server OSs that are available, and again, there's just a lot of it there. My recommendation is to download a virtual machine and load one of the operating systems onto that virtual machine, and then you can try out this software all day long in a safe environment, and that's the best way by far to get used to the software. I'll let you read through the course goals there. There at the bottom, course deliverables and exams. Your grade's going to be based on your individual performance on participation, assignments, exams, and a semester project, an individual semester project. So participation, we've got various participation opportunities available throughout this semester. Basically what you're going to be doing is, as you're working on the project and stuff like that, you're going to be posting stuff to the discussion board and sharing some of your work with your peers. And it's going to allow you to see what your peers are doing, but at the same time it's going to allow them to see what you're doing. And I want you guys to talk back and forth and say, hey, you could improve your project by doing this, or take a look at that. And I want everybody to help each other improve. So post your stuff and then go out and look at everybody else's and post on several of them. Don't just say nice job, that's not helping and that won't count. But provide some real meaningful input for your peers so that they can improve their work. There's also a pre-test and a post-test. Those also, they don't count quite as much as each participation opportunity, but they do count towards participation, so be sure and take both of those. Assignments, as I mentioned earlier, the assignments are done in test out. I think everybody at this point is registered for it, and that's great, but there's a total of 13 of those, plus there's assignment 0, which is that information sheet that you turned in, your image, your honor code that you turned in. So that one should have been an easy one. And so that pretty much is what makes up the assignments. As far as registering for test out, I'm pretty sure everybody has at this point, but just in case you haven't, right there below the middle part of the page, you've got the information about how to register for test out. And again, there's another link there that you can view a lesson on the process of going through and registering with test out. I think that's it on that page. Exams, there's 2 exams, a midterm and a final. The final is cumulative, but the focus is going to be on stuff towards the second half of the semester. But be sure and be aware that you can't just do a brain dump after the midterm. Semester project, there's more details in Blackboard and later in the syllabus, but the semester project is an opportunity really for you to kind of showcase some of your research skills as a graduate student. This is not an undergraduate class, so I really want you guys to show me what you know and what you can do. And there's a variety of topics that I kind of give you an idea on of what you can look at, but it needs to be something related to wide area networks. There's also a presentation that's due. I know that if you're new to my classes, that may be a little intimidating. You might not quite know what I'm talking about. In the past, I've just had students create a PowerPoint deck and then provide audio narration to that PowerPoint deck. And you can still do that, but I'm really trying to push people more towards things like capturing their Google Hangout presentations, or they can create a narrated Prezi. Something new that I just saw relatively recently is live streaming. It's the ability to capture your video and webcam and all that kind of stuff online for free. So check out livestream.com if that's something you're interested in. It's probably the best approach, but it's a little bit steeper learning curve, I think. As far as the weights for these various assignments and things like that, this is actually an embedded spreadsheet. If you download the syllabus from the Blackboard shell, this is actually an embedded spreadsheet that you can double click on, and you can actually enter your grades, kind of keep track of where you are there. I'm not a big fan of the Blackboard grade book. I use it as a way to return your grades and return feedback to you, but as far as your overall grade that it calculates, I'm not a big fan of how it does that. So if you want to keep track of your grades individually, you can certainly do it right here, and I think it does a better job. So barring any formula errors on my part, that's pretty much how it should lay out. So you've got those 14 assignments, 0 through 13. You've got those participation points. The semester project is broken down into sections or chunks. It gives you the ability to, not have it all due at one time, have a big grade based on the whole thing, but rather smaller pieces, and then the final piece is worth more. Then there's the midterm and the final. And if I did all my calculations correctly, it should be 1,380 points. Late assignments down there at the bottom, I don't take them, so don't turn stuff in late. Everything's posted right now, so you can work ahead. In fact, I encourage you to work ahead a little bit. But with the exception of the exams, I think just about everything else is already posted and you can already work on. Student expectations, there's nothing out of the ordinary there. I think everybody knows, especially as graduate students, you all know what it should take to be successful in school, so I'll leave you to read that. One thing I would point out, I do expect you to log into Blackboard at least once a day just to check and see if anything is posted, if there are any announcements or messages and things like that. Academic honesty, if I catch you cheating, you're going to get an F in the class, and we have a tracking system, and I'll submit your name there. You do it twice, you get kicked out of the university, so it's really not worth it. So don't do that. Disability accommodations, I don't think that's going to be an issue in this class, but just in case it happens to be aware I'm not allowed to actually give you an accommodation. I don't have that kind of training. You need to contact the appropriate office here on campus, the Office of Disability Services, and they'll do whatever testing it is that they need to do, and they'll create some sort of an accommodation, and they'll provide that to you to provide to me, and I'm going to do whatever it is that they tell me to do. I've never argued with them. That's their thing, and I do what they recommend. As far as the schedule, this is what I really follow, and I really recommend that you print this out. If nothing else, print this out, stick it on the fridge, set it as your home page, as the background on your computer, something. But even though it is tentative, it's subject to change. I reserve that right. For the most part, I follow this really, really closely. On the left, we have our various weeks. We have the dates, which is Monday through Sunday. We have the various topics that we're covering each week. And then on the far right-hand side, we have the various assignments. The assignments are all due at 9:59 p.m. on the Sunday of each week. So, for example, that very first week, all that was due on January 19th at 9:59. So, Sunday at 9:59. The second week, Assignment 1, Lab Sim 1.0, that was due on 1/26, Sunday at 9:59 p.m. If you have had me in the class in the past, you may be used to me having stuff due at 11:59. I changed that to 9:59 to coincide with the closure of the Blackboard help desk. So be aware of that if you've had me before. But for the most part, all those assignments are open, and you're free to work ahead. And like I said, I do encourage you to work ahead just a little bit. So that's kind of a layout of how things are due and all that kind of stuff. Semester project, I really start to kind of dive down into a little bit more detail here at the end of the syllabus. I really try to spell out exactly what it is I'm looking for. The objectives, the semester project proposal, which is the first stage, the reference part of the project, which is coming up next, the project outline, and so on. And I'm pretty much telling you exactly what it is that I want. And then the final version up here. How am I going to grade it? There's my rubric right there. You can really kind of get a good feel for what it is I'm looking for there. Professional look and feel, APA, formatting, executive summary, topic coverage, conclusions, quality of sources, your presentation, and that's pretty much it. Put all those together, and that's how you end up with your score. The last page, that's not for you, it's for me. I actually print out my syllabus. I keep it with me throughout the semester. As an issue arises, I make a note of it, and I use that to try to improve my courses in the future. If something happens to work particularly well or not work, I try to detail that so I can make sure that I address it in future iterations of the class. Other than that, that is CIS 578 in a nutshell. I'm really excited about this class. I really like networking, and so I'm quite excited to kind of get into it and see what your projects are about and all that kind of stuff. And that's all I got for you, so let's jump on in.